Socialites from across the globe are here. Businessmen, businesswomen of renown are here tonight, and we're broadcasting live to you on your smart devices. You've got to log in. You've got to follow the hashtag ZNCC Congress. Yes, there's 3 C's, and there's only one of me. And there's 135 plus guests here tonight, if I counted correctly, which means I'm not in the finance department, because I'm sure there's more than 135 guests here. If you're sitting next to someone, ladies and gentlemen, say wow. Excellent, you're getting used to it. So I'm green because, not because I know I look very yellow, but I'm a green MC because electricity is very expensive, ma'am. One of the highest contributors to costs in business. So in order for you to conserve your energy, conserve your electricity, I won't make you applaud throughout the evening because you're all very smart, you're all in suits, you're all in evening gowns. I don't want to create sweat. You know, I want to do that. I'm a very green MC. I want you to conserve your energy because there are awards to announce later on, and some of you have been nominated, some of you are going to win. So in order to conserve energy, I'm not going to make you do this the whole night. I'm not one of those MCs. I'm going to make you say one word, and that's wow. You can use it as freely as you like. If you're sitting next to someone like this gentleman from Chobe, you can look at him and say wow. Great. All right. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have started the meals. Our starters will be plated. And our dinner, ladies and gentlemen, is a buffet. However, for the buffet, ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until someone comes and directs you to the serving point. The Elephant Hills staff is highly trained, and they will direct you to the serving point. I'd also like to acknowledge each and every gate crasher that has come through today. We know that you're most welcome here as well. However, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge a couple of individuals that have rubber-stamped this event tonight to mean that we are doing something right, that we are pushing Zimbabwe in the right direction, that we are pushing your businesses in the right direction. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge the guests of honor, Honorable Chiratidzo Mabua, Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce. Please give a round of applause and a big wow, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Douglas Mombeshwara, Minister of Lands. Deputy Ministers here present, senior government officials, Davison Norupiri, ZNCC President, Divine Lukula, the ZNCC Deputy President, ZNCC Executive Members, the ZNCC Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Figile Nkosi, Swaziland Employers and Chamber of Commerce Vice President, Platinum Sponsor Old Mutual, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for each and every one of these names, ladies and gentlemen, that I've mentioned, I want you to do one thing for me, your best wow for the evening for these individuals as well as yourselves. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Wow. The corner over there, you guys don't like yourselves. You didn't say wow, yeah. So I'm going to give you one more chance to say wow for yourselves, not for me, but for yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, for our opening remarks, I would like to call upon our ZNCC President, ladies and gentlemen, to come forward. As they come forward, ladies and gentlemen, it's not our President, but it is our executive member to come through. In the meantime, our DJ, please, could you play some music as they come through?
Much. The MC here was just saying, just say wow. Yeah, those from Chombe, I think they had a bad time. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you for this evening's event. Our guest of honor, Honorable Maimabua, the Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce, the Minister of State in the Vice President's Office, Vasibanda, the Deputy Minister of Mines here with us. I'm sure the Minister of Lands is not here, but he will join us shortly. the Deputy President of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Divine Gukula, the past President of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Obed Sibanda, the Deputy President of the Chamber of Commerce of Swaziland, here with us today, all our Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce executives with us tonight, our sponsors, business colleagues, captains of industry, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'm not going to give a long speech, but what I simply want to highlight and say to you is that that time has come again, where we have our awards and congratulate our members who have done so well in business. I just want to highlight three major things which actually gives me all the time the appetite to honor and respect those people who are running business at this point in time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming a long way as Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, together with our members who are business people. If I can rewind you a little bit to go back to 2007, that was the period which was really the toughest, if I can say. As business, we experienced 3 rough patches till this time, since 2007. One, we went through the super hyperinflationary period as business, whereby we watched our monies and our investments being eroded day and night because of the hyperinflation which we experienced. That went on for 2 years, 2007, 2008, and part of 2009. And most of the shops were empty simply because business people failed to restock in their shops because of the hyperinflationary period. As business, ladies and gentlemen, we also had the time where the government dollarized this economy in order to resuscitate and to remain stable as an economy of this country. During the dollarization period, as Zimbabweans, we really felt it. As business, we really felt it, because everything which you had in the bank, the quintillions, the billions, and so forth, they were all converted to zero. So we had to start a business again. We had to face a situation whereby you are going towards the end of the month, and that's the first month you are trading using the US dollar, and you are looking at the labor force facing you, looking at you, expecting their salaries and wages in US dollars. It was a tough time for business. After that era, we had our bankers who came in just after that in trying to rescue business. But we experienced very high interest in terms of their facilities. We were looking at around 40 to 45% interest per annum. And a lot of companies, they grabbed those monies in trying to make sure that their heads are kept above the waters. But some companies, they failed to swim through. Some companies, they actually made it. Those are some of the champions which we are celebrating today. So as Zimbabwean business people, and as myself, let me just say myself, the moment I see someone running the business currently in Zimbabwe, I have a high respect for that person. I have a high respect. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 9 years, it was not easy to run a business in this country. For the past 9 years, we faced serious challenges as business people. But as Zimbabweans, we also felt that we are Zimbabweans and Zimbabwe belongs to us and we have to work for it. You did so, ladies and gentlemen. And ourselves as a chamber, we are not turning a blind eye on as far as doing business and as far as those people who are working for this economy is concerned. I would like to just give you, or if possible, let's just give ourselves a round of applause. Because of the initiatives which were coming from various ministries of government in terms of coming up with the pro-business policies, we witnessed the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe coming up with various policies which were in support of business. For the past 2 years, our economic ministries, our president and the team ministers and deputy ministers, they worked tirelessly together with the senior government officials to craft policies which were pro-business. And here we are today, my Mabua, celebrating those people who have done well, celebrating those people who were putting their ears on the ground to listen where the wind was going. Let me just mention a few policies which our government came up with, and those who actually heard where the wind was going, they had to ride on those policies. We have got this an SI which was promulgated by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. I'm sure it should be SI 19 of 2015, if I'm not mistaken on that, I'm so sure, whereby the oil industry were actually facing serious challenges, production challenges and serious challenges from cheap imports which were coming into this country. The oil industry had to come in and plead to the Ministry of Industry, including Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, and hence that policy was promulgated. There was no oil coming into the country from neighboring countries simply because our industry started ticking. We had lots of investment. We had Surface Wilma, they invested heavily in Zimbabwe, and they started operating at 100% simply because of that SI. We also had to come in 2016, whereby SI 64 was promulgated. SI 64 of 2016. This really removed quite a number of products from the import general license. We witnessed quite a number of companies increasing their capacity. I'm sure if I'm correct, we had a record from CZI whereby companies were trading around 35% capacity utilization. And as it is now, most companies have moved their capacity utilization to around 80 to 85%, especially those who are in the food processing and beverage. And this is due to the SI. You cannot just increase the capacity utilization to those levels without increasing your labor force. Hence, employment was created, ladies and gentlemen. We witnessed quite a number of companies re-engaging. We witnessed quite a number of companies actually taking again those students which are on intern. I'm sure you know very well that our universities and colleges out there, they are pumping out more than 20,000 graduates every year. And those graduates, most of them, they were not finding their way into the industry. As we speak right now, some companies are actually doing well. some companies, they've actually been revived. So due to the creation of employment, a lot of demand was created because people had disposable income and they started demanding the products. So a lot of companies are keeping on increasing their capacity utilization. During 2007 and 2009, we had our shelves of supermarkets, they were empty. And a number of foreign companies were actually exporting their products into Zimbabwe. But because of the SI, which really limited such products, most of these companies tested the Zimbabwean market and they couldn't resist it. Therefore, because of the same SI, which I'm talking about, these companies, they had to come and invest into this country. That's why we have now Willoton in Mutare. They've invested heavily in this company because they did very well during that period with their brand Delight on cooking oil. We also have Trade Kings, which is in Workington, and they have got their famous boom washing powder, which is also doing well in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have the promulgation of SI 59 of 2017, the Special Economic Zones. This bill has been signed into law. And as it is now, government has just appointed the board to really have an oversight on the SI and on the Special Economic Zones. We've got Special Economic Zones in Bulawayo. We've got Special Economic Zone in the tourism area in our Victoria Falls, and we also have Special Economic Zone in Harare, Sunway City, Ventersburg. These are all policies which are pro-business. We also witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Industry working together with the Minister of Finance to reduce and at some instances to remove duty on imported raw material. This has also increased our competitiveness as a nation on production. Our cost of production have since gone down on some of the products, whereby we are actually importing raw materials. We also have other policy intervention, like in the agricultural sector. I'm sure we have got the presidential input scheme. We also have command agriculture, which also really helped in terms of saving our forex. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, this economy imported maize more than 600 million worth. That is government only. And business, we imported more than 300 million, which is close to $1 billion if we are to add them together. And this year, we are not importing a single grain of maize, which basically means I think those who are importing, they experienced serious challenges last year on as far as moving telegraphic transfers is concerned. The reason why we went through that rough patch again is because when we were now receiving our proceeds from our tobacco, that was exactly the same period which the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe started importing maize. So some of the proceeds had to go to the importation of maize. And hence, we also had serious challenges in moving our cash across the borders in the process of trying to import. As it is now, the government is not outlaying almost to $1 billion like what we did last year in importing maize. So as a result of that, we have benefited and we cherish our government for that. So those are some of the issues which the government is working on. And some of these issues, the government is working together with the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, because they are actually doing robust consultations before they promulgate an SI or before they come up with a policy. We have got some issues here and there on as far as business is concerned. But the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce is there for you as our members to really submit our concerns to government. And I'm happy our government doors are open for us. And we are there for them. So we are working together. And the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, here with our members today, we are celebrating the champions of business. And before probably we get to that, I would like to congratulate you in advance. And I can only say, may the Lord richly bless you. I thank you.
That's an interesting sound effect. That's a very interesting sound effect. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge another individual that I understand is here with us today. It's the Honorable Sivanda, Minister of State in the Vice President, Honorable Emerson Mnangagwa's office. He is here. Please give him a big wow and a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in cards they say or in poker they call it a full house. We seem to have a full house of high-powered individuals. Apparently the MC is also quite powerful, but that will be discovered as the evening goes on. Well, the current president spoke, ladies and gentlemen, passionately about what's been happening in Zimbabwe, and each and every one of you deserves every accolade that will come to you today. Let me speak not from a point of humor, but from a point of something that I might call inspiration. There's a difference between movement and progress. There's a lot of people that come to you and will come with great business ideas, great business opportunities, and all they're doing is talking about movement. But it's you, ladies and gentlemen, in this room that have proven that you are not only people of movement, but you are people of progress. I'm being told that I'm getting a bonus in December. Oh, great. That's great news. You could have emailed it to me, though. I could have emailed it. Wow, that's great news. Please don't be jealous, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure if you're here with your CEO, just nudge him and say, yeah, you see what's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call upon the ZNCC President, Mr. Davison Norupiri, to introduce our guest of honor. It's moments like this, ladies and gentlemen, during the course of an evening such as this, where we bestow great honor upon a particular individual because they are the ones that open the gates for the rest of the proceedings. So, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes forward to take my podium and microphone, somebody say, wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm back talking to you again. My task is very simple at this point in time. I'm here to introduce to you our guest of honor tonight. The person I'm talking about is a person I know. The person I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is an honorable member of parliament. She is a mentor to me. She provides all the time guidance to us as a Chamber of Commerce. She doesn't hesitate to whip us at any given time. And that's one thing which I really enjoy about her. Those people who have been working with him, I'm sure Vasibanda knows that. He has been whipped several times. And I used to enjoy it because she's our sister who always provides guidance. We now know the protocol in government simply because of her. She always teaches us how to introduce ministers, how to introduce senior government officials, how to do anything on as far as government is concerned. And I respect her for that. Now I know a lot in government. The person I'm talking about, she's a war veteran. The person I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, she has seen it all. On as far as the struggle for Zimbabwe is concerned, on as far as business is concerned, she is very instrumental in the ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, the person I'm talking about, she's the Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you Honorable Deputy Minister Amai Chiratidzo Mabuo. Please come and take. Let's just put our hands together for her. Thank you.
You forgot one attribute of mine, that I'm a very good dancer. So I thought if the music were to go on, well, I know that I've got many people who are listening to me and who would tell the Honorable Minister what I said. So I will not say it. I'll not say the MC, because he gave us a new definition or meaning to what the MC means. And apparently, the Honorable Minister is Dr. MC Bima. So I'll rest my case and say the Director of Ceremonies, my dear son. I was telling him that each time I see him on television, I always greet him, but he doesn't respond. I have earned myself a character that I don't know what to say about it. I'm told, my minister says to me, you are a disciplinarian. And I always say, and what it has caused now is that the officers, they even give me speeches when I'm ready to read them, because they don't want to be sent backwards and forwards until I draft my own. So that is exactly what has happened. I want to express my gratitude to them. Let me start by observing fellow ministers here present. The Minister of State in Vice President, Honorable Mnangagwa's office, Honorable Sbanda, the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Fred Moyo, the other ministers who are going to be walking in anytime, Honorable Mambeshora and Honorable Janda. They confirmed their participation this evening. Senior government officials here present. The President of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. David Norupiri, and indeed Mrs. Norupiri, who is here with us this evening, not only as the spouse, but also as co-director of DevPel. We recognize your presence and your presence and role in the company. You represent us women very well in that company. Thank you very much. The past president, Mr. Obet Sbanda, when I was appointed Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce, he was the then president. And yes, we had some good time together. the deputy president of the ZNCC, Ma'am Divine Lugula. Well, it was the first time that since independence, I was the first female minister in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. And when I came in. So I had to put my foot down so that at least they felt that there was some male sort of walking in order for me to match their expectations. But yes, here we are today. The Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce executive members, the ZNCC Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Mgaga, may I also recognize the presence and participation to this year's Congress of the ZNCC of Ms. Figile Nkosi, the Swaziland Employers and Chamber of Commerce Vice President. May I recognize the platinum sponsors, this platinum sponsor of this year, the Old Mutual, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, let me take this opportunity to start by just buttressing what the president of the ZNCC has just said regarding the interface between the Ministry of Industry and Commerce and the chamber. Firstly, my suggestion, which I was whispering, and I continue to whisper, is that I think you go beyond being a chamber of commerce. To me, you are the chamber of business here in Zimbabwe. You are not only a voice, but you are really the movers. And when you are the movers, more is expected from you each time. I wouldn't find myself fulfilled if I go to sit down without challenging you from what I've seen going on throughout the days that we have spent here in the Victoria Falls. You aptly chose a very well-defined theme, which I have just captured. I said my take-home would be the new normal. It's new, but it has become normal. To me, it shows some graduation, some acceptance that things are no longer the same. So there should be an old normal. And to me, the old normal is when we used to say, who owns the means of production in Zimbabwe? The situation was sort of a pyramid where we had multinational corporations up there, a few of them, and in the middle we could say there was some vacuum. And at the bottom there were entrepreneurs who were defined with all sorts of languages. Briefcase business person was one term, informal economy, name it. And that was the old normal. Now the new normal is you sit around, look at people, and you are not talking only to CEOs, but you are talking to owners of businesses. The owners of businesses are here, and they are members of the ZNCC and members of the CZI and other business organizations around the country. We should congratulate ourselves for that. It was a hard road that was walked. It was a hard road that we were trying to drive to say, okay, we have fought for the liberation of this country. We have the political independence. Now we need to graduate from there, move from political independence to owning not only the land, but also the means of production. So as sons and daughters of the soil, I salute you for that. You now have a new normal, which, by the way, might be looked at as something which is quite shrunk as compared to yesteryears. But it's yours, it's ours. It's better to own that new normal and accept that is where we are, and then we grow our cake from there. Having said that, Now, the new normal dictates challenges which we are requesting as Minister of Industry and Commerce that you, as not only the voice, but as the Chamber of Business, you may need to look at. There is the issue which is going to be talked about tomorrow on the issue of the special economic zones, whose act that we are celebrating. What is it that is there for us to optimally use this piece of legislation? We already had some contributions this morning where we were talking to the shape and the character of the special economic zones. What's best for us in the new normal? Think around it, let us know, and ours is to facilitate. The other thing that you might need to look at is how to enhance the new normal, that is the ownership structure of businesses. Currently, we have the informal economy. How is it that, what's the role of the chamber in making sure that we have many people who are still in the informal economy, in the SMEs, who would cross over to then be the business people, to then be where you are today, most of you as business owners? What is it that needs to be done? What can the chamber do for them? And what is it that needs to be done? What can government do for them? Proffer solutions. As you know, we are always there to work with you. And finally, I could say how to increase our speed, not on the roads, because speed kills. But speed does not always kill when you accelerate it at the right place. When you accelerate it in the shift from rhetoric to action, speed pays. We don't have time. We have to accelerate our speed and move. I'll touch a little bit on what I thought were about some takeaways which the Minister of Industry and Commerce alluded to in his opening remarks. He spent some bit of time explaining that as a ministry, we are focusing on two issues. One being employment creation, and secondly, foreign currency earnings. And he brought out vehicles of delivery for us to achieve this. These included policies, strategies, and new laws. In his speech, he alluded to the trade policy that we are currently finalizing, the industrialization policy that we are currently finalizing. We, as a ministry, would like to finalize on documents that will not see themselves gather dust in shelves. They can only be usable documents if they are owned by those that are supposed to own them, who are yourselves. Your participation is commended in the formulation. We also need to finalize these together so that they become documents that will be usable to enhance our industrialization and our trade, be it locally or internationally. He also alluded to sectoral strategies, which included the pharmaceuticals, the manufacturing, beef, cotton to clothing strategies that the ministry has come up with, and these are demand-driven. We have worked them out together with yourselves. We still envisage that we are going to be having more issues being brought up by yourselves as a chamber, so that we facilitate by making them policies or laws for that matter. Then he alluded to two pieces of legislation, of course, the Special Economic Zones Act and the National Competitiveness Commission Act. these are some of the policies, strategies, and laws that we have already been able to achieve, and these, we believe, they are demand-driven, and they can only enhance your businesses and enhance our remaining in power as you implement them, as my colleague said in the morning. Mr. Norupiri, I thought I was going to reiterate the 7 policies that you also gave us during your opening remarks, but you have already touched on some of these. But let me just recap these for us to take home, since tomorrow we will be saying goodbye to each other back to our desks. How do we make use of the easy of doing business platform or forum? How do we employ the Special Economic Zone Act? How do we optimize the use of the import duty removal from raw material and the export incentive scheme that the government has introduced? Promotion of the use of plastic money, are we optimally using it? You were alluding that we are at averagely 85%. We were formerly at 85%, and now we have 85% cash and 20% we're using the plastic money. And now it is true that we have increased those figures. Are we optimally doing that? Can we still do some more? The SME incentives that you alluded to, do the SMEs know it? Do they need to be incubated, and by whom? What is the role of the chamber in incubating those? And then, of course, our achievements in the resuscitation of industries through initiatives such as the Command Agriculture. And of course, the celebration that we are saying that we have substituted imports, that we're averaging 1 billion. What are we going to be doing to make sure that is sustained? What are we going to be doing to that? I just thought that let me take this opportunity to highlight those and leave them as not dinner for tonight, but food for thought. Now, it is my honor and privilege to preside over this auspicious occasion, which seeks to recognize those amongst us who have excelled in various ZNCC categories, which will be awarded tonight. Let me begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the sponsors of this event, who have played a crucial role by ensuring that the awards do take place. Nationally, these recognitions augur well within the confines or the premises of the Zimbabwe Agenda for Sustainable Socio-Economic Transformation, our ZIMASET aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, this recognition is a highlight of the year to those who have demonstrated resilience and hard work in excelling in their various different spheres. Let me borrow from what the speaker said earlier on during the deliberation on this important annual event. He noted that the country suffers from a disease which he termed inertia. To us, these awards serve as a stimulant to work hard and never give up. We must realize that hard work requires dedication, wisdom, and vision. Those who are going to be receiving these awards, they have something in them that drives them to make a mark in the economy. We experience this even in our families. It is normal that effort is rewarded. When it is done, this doesn't mean that those who are being rewarded are the only ones who have performed well. But it only shows that they have perhaps surpassed a benchmark that has been set, either through norms or communication. Then this distinguishes them from the other members of the same family. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's awards will cover transport and logistics, tertiary institutions, public enterprises, ICT, SMEs, and most importantly, rural business persons will also be awarded, among others. It is therefore important for us to congratulate the ZNCC in that they are walking the talk by the inclusion of an award for rural business persons. This is recognizing that indeed there is a new normal and there is a past normal that is no longer applicable to Zimbabwe. Let me conclude by saying that these awards cultivate the spirit of competition, which is a very good ingredient for a market-driven economy like that one of Zimbabwe. My ministry would like to thank the ZNCC for providing a forum which gives us platform to recognize hard work and hard-working business people. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Talumba Siyabonga.
ZNCC, the voice of business.
Somebody say, wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to ask you to trust me. I'm going to put our ship into 6th gear, and I'm going to make sure that we move along as speedily as possible. Is that okay with you? Yeah, great, okay. Well, that being said and done, I was just sitting with the sound guys, and they were saying that they didn't understand a lot of what was being said, and they didn't catch a lot of what has been going on during the conference. So let me just appraise the sound team, the IT team, the band members as well, about what was going on in a language that they understand as well. Some accents, you actually have to warm up for this. What was being said by the Honorable Minister is that she knows me very well. She greets me on the TV and she says, I tell her today, hello, 1,000 thank yous. We also talk about the 7-point plan. We talk about the Z method. We talk about the is to do business. Now, you guys, you play music. We're going to do is of playing music for you as well. We make it very easy for you to play music. Is that okay with you? Wonderful. We're going to be doing this. You must be ready because we don't want to be waiting for you to come in and reading the music. Okay. Okay. All right. They understand this. They've got their corner shop here. That's why I'm talking to them like this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going very well. What we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to get our official remarks from the incoming president, Divine Dlukula. As she comes forward, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very, very key moment in the ZNCC annual Congress ceremony. As she comes forward, ladies and gentlemen, please give her a round of applause. Apparently that song was a request from the Honorable Minister, seeing as she said she loves to dance, but Mr. DJ will be doing that a little bit later. What we're going to be doing now, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been advised that we're going to break for dinner. I'll kindly invite our head tables to make their way, and ladies and gentlemen, please remember, please do not move until your table is invited. In the meantime, Chicken Bus, please come forward, entertain us with your music. We're not going anywhere. Please make sure, ladies and gentlemen, on social media, ma'am, I can see you smiling at me on that table over there. Great. Thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for smiling. I didn't really crack a joke, but what you can do is if you're going to make any comment, yes, if you want to make any comment concerning the evening, please don't forget to use the hashtag ZNCC Congress. Is that okay with you? Wonderful. We're going to break for dinner, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, we've got Chicken Bus, and then after that, we will move on with the rest of the program as per the program, and then we will rush into the awards and make sure that each and every one of you that has been nominated and awarded is bestowed with the right honor.
ZNCC, the voice of business.